In the vast expanse of global religious devotion, Yahweh emerges as a monumental figure, anchoring the faith of the world's largest monotheistic traditions. But what if I told you everything you thought you knew about worship could be wrong? To the casual observer, he is often presented through a prism of contemporary worship, a portrayal of omnipotence, justice, and benevolence. This mainstream depiction, comforting and familiar to countless believers, merely grazes the surface of his intricate and complex history. It presents a stark and simplified image of a deity whose evolution has been as tumultuous and dynamic as the very storms once associated with his divine persona. As we begin this comprehensive exploration, we are invited to question, reflect, and possibly redefine our connection to the divine, unraveling the layers of a story that transcends millennia and whose identity is as multifaceted as the believers who worship him. For many, he symbolizes a beacon of unwavering faith and eternal guidance, whose presence is celebrated in hymns and invoked in prayers worldwide. Yet beneath this surface of omnipresence and omnibenevolence lies a rich narrative marked by dramatic transformations, cultural assimilations, and theological debates. The deity whom countless voices sing praises to today is the culmination of centuries of religious evolution, meticulously shaped by human hands and minds through a labyrinth of historical circumstances. The transition from a regional warrior storm god of the ancient Levant to the singular, transcendental figure of Abrahamic monotheism represents not merely a tale of divine ascendance, but also mirrors humanity's enduring quest for understanding and meaning within the cosmos. This journey uncovers a deity that has been continuously reimagined, contested, and adapted to meet the evolving needs and aspirations of his followers, challenging the conventional depictions of him and inviting us to explore the depths beyond the familiar narratives. Moving forward into this exploration of his evolution, we engage in the deeper contemplation of what it truly means to engage with the divine. This encourages us to question the very essence of worship, the nature of the deities we venerate. By tracing his journey from the stormy battlefields of ancient Canaan to the sanctified spaces of modern worship, we unveil a vivid panorama of human belief, power, and identity. A journey that not only sheds light on the past, but also reflects our own spiritual pursuits and understandings. Delving deeper into the origins, adaptations, and universalization of Yahweh, we embark on a quest that extends beyond uncovering a deity's historical backdrop. This journey invites us to perceive beyond the mainstream representations, to grasp the intricate web of narratives that have elevated him to his central role in monotheistic worship. It's a quest not solely focused on revealing a deity's past, but aimed at understanding the essence of faith itself, and the dynamic interplay between divine conception and human experience. This may challenge mainstream Christians and all believers to reflect on the complexities and historical depth of him, moving beyond surface-level perceptions to a more enriched understanding of what and who they are truly praising. The narrative of his emergence and evolution from a tribal warrior storm god into the central figure of Abrahamic monotheism is a testament to the dynamic and fluid nature of religious belief systems. These patterns reveal how deities adapt, merge, or fade in response to the shifting conditions and needs of their human adherents. Initially revered as a deity of storm and war within the southern Levant, Yahweh embodied the raw forces of nature and conflict. His foundational identity set the stage for his worship among the early Israelites, emphasizing his power and might. Yet for him to maintain a relevance, he needed to resonate on a level beyond his origins. His adaptability, therefore, was crucial, showing that for a deity to endure, a balance between distinctiveness and the capacity for evolution is essential. Navigating through these early origins, his journey through the Canaanite religious landscape highlights a period of profound transformation and integration. The story of Yahweh, the God worshipped in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, unfolds as a fascinating journey. This narrative spans several millennia and is rooted in the ancient Near Eastern context, particularly within the early Israelite religion. His origins are somewhat obscure, but scholars generally agree that his worship began in the ancient Near East. The earliest evidence of his worship comes from the southern Levant and the region surrounding the Sinai Peninsula. These areas, characterized by their desert landscapes, were home to various Semitic peoples who would eventually form the early Israelite communities. As the Israelites settled in Canaan, he was assimilated into the local Canaanite religious framework. This period saw him absorbing characteristics from other deities, notably El, the chief god of the Canaanite pantheon, or Baal, a storm and fertility god. He retained a distinct identity as a warrior god who led his people through various trials, including the Exodus from Egypt, which is central Jewish, Christian, and Islamic narratives. Initially, he was likely worshipped alongside a pantheon of gods, a practice known as henotheism. However, through a complex process involving political changes, prophetic movements, and social reforms, worship of him transitioned to monolatry, the worship of one god without denying the existence of others, and eventually to monotheism, the belief that there is only one God. This transition is reflected in the Hebrew Bible, where his supremacy over other gods becomes increasingly emphasized. His story is central to Judaism, where he is understood as the creator of the universe, the giver of the Torah, and the God of Israel. The covenant between him and the Israelites, starting with Abraham and later reaffirmed with Moses, is a key theme in Jewish theology and history. In Christianity, he is equated with God the Father, part of the Holy Trinity. Jesus Christ's teachings in the New Testament often refer back to his laws and covenants in the Hebrew Bible. Islam recognizes him as Allah, the singular omnipotent God who communicated through the prophets, including Abraham, Moses, and Muhammad. As he encountered the rich panorama of the Canaanite pantheon with deities such as Elf the chief god or Baal the storm god, he underwent significant transformation. This process involved absorbing elements from these gods, integrating El's wisdom and Baal's association with storms, while also establishing a unique identity. Such assimilation and differentiation enabled him to carve out a dedicated following, illustrating the delicate balance between adopting characteristics from existing deities and maintaining a distinct presence. The shift from henotheism to monotheism marks a pivotal phase in his development, driven by both theological reflections and socio-political changes. The evolution from recognizing him as the supreme God, among others, to worshiping him as a sole deity reflects a nuanced theological journey. Influenced by the establishment of the Israelite monarchy and the centralization of worship, this gradual shift underscores his growing supremacy and exclusivity. It highlights the community's evolving understanding of the divine, moving towards a singular focus on him in response to their collective needs and socio-political aspirations. This theological evolution is further shaped by the integration of local religious practices and the rejection or contestation of others, reflecting the complex dynamics within the Israelite community. The transformation of Yahwism was marked not only by the selective integration of local religious elements, but also by the deliberate rejection of others. This process, driven by the desire for a cohesive national identity, mirrors the internal dynamics of power and control. His theological evolution, therefore, is deeply intertwined with the Israelite community's search for a unified self-conception and purpose, illustrating how divine attributes can reflect and influence the aspirations and challenges of a community. The political and social factors underlying the consolidation of his worship reveal the intricate relationship between religion and politics in shaping national identity. The promotion of his exclusivity, particularly under the reigns of figures like King Uzziah, highlights the interplay between religious reform and political strategy. These efforts not only served theological goals, but also aimed to unify the Israelite identity under a single deity, reflecting the ways in which religious and political agendas are often entwined, strengthen control, and foster unity. The post-exilic period introduces a significant shift towards the universalization of Yahweh, marking a new chapter in his worship and relevance. His transition from a national deity to a universal God embodies a profound shift towards a more abstract and transcendent conception of divinity. This evolution laid the groundwork for his central role in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, underscoring his ability to transcend specific cultural and historical contexts. universalization of it demonstrates the enduring relevance and adaptability of religious figures, reflecting their capacity to address universal human experiences and concerns across different epochs and societies. This journey from a regional deity to a monotheistic figurehead illustrates the dynamic nature of religious belief and the intricate relationship between divine conceptions and human historical experiences. Through the evolutionary process of adaptation and assimilation, he emerged as a central figure in one of the world's major religious traditions, showcasing the complex ways in which deities can reflect, adapt to, and influence the changing landscapes of human belief and practice. As we wrap this all up, it's essential to engage with the narratives and commandments that have sparked debate among scholars, theologians, and believers. Yahweh is depicted not only as a God of compassion, guidance, and provision, but also as the one who asserts his sovereignty through demands that underscore his exclusivity and illicit obedience from his followers. This duality is evident in the instances where Yahweh's commands and actions reflect aspects of his character that challenge contemporary understandings of morality and divinity. For example, the commandment against idolatry, encapsulated in Exodus, where Yahweh describes himself as a jealous God, punishing the children for the sin of the parents to the third and fourth generation, those who hate him, reveals a dimension of his nature that prioritizes loyalty and punishes deviation. Furthermore, the narratives of commanded sacrifices, such as the binding of Isaac in Genesis 22, where Abraham is asked to sacrifice his son only to be stopped at the last moment, introduces complex layers to Yahweh's character. These stories are often interpreted as tests of faith or demonstrations of loyalty, yet they also raise profound questions about the nature of divine demands and the ethics of obedience. Additionally, instances of divine wrath and punishment, as seen in the plagues of Egypt described in Exodus, or the command to obliterate the Canaanites to claim the Promised Land, contribute to discussions about the portrayal of Yahweh as a God who exercises justice in ways that can appear harsh or even violent by modern ethical standards. These aspects of Yahweh's character and his interactions with humanity have been subjects of intense scrutiny and interpretation through the ages. They illustrate a deity who encompasses a range of attributes, from love and protection to jealousy and demands for sacrifice, reflecting the complex nature of divine-human relationships in the biblical texts. Such portrayals invite readers to wrestle with the implications of these characteristics and to consider the broader context within which these narratives and commandments were given, understanding them as part of the intricate tapestry of ancient religious belief and practice. Human Fluence out.